it is evident. The killing in Mamfe, the killing in Babanki, we know the people who did it. It's the same people who call themselves Amba. But I think it is time, I will say this and I will say it on media, for the Cameroon government to not only think of sending soldiers to go seek for them. I think drones need to be sent out at a moment like this to locate where these persons are. And they will all bombed to death. Because getting into a village, killing people, raping some, and it doesn't end there, Mr. Liu. It's not just about killing. They raped, and then killed, then at the end of the day, burnt and looted. They took money from people. Family members that were not killed, they collected money from them. That is too much. And those are the same people these criminals claim they went out to protect. These are the same people that they claim that they went out to the bushes to stand for.
And it's so painful and it's so hurting to realize that those people were gruesomely killed, and some of them were even raped before they were killed. To even think of the fact that the acts were conducted by humans, it's first of all like a mirage, because in the actual sense only beasts, animals, people without consciences can carry such acts. Very, very frustrating. I woke up that morning and I saw gruesome images of people being murdered in their numbers. Not one, not two, not 5, not 10, not 20. Then I was asking this question: has human beings in Cameroon become that cheap? As the life of human becomes that insignificant that people can easily chop off the head of fellow human beings, rape others and burn them alive without any remorse, without any form of guilt, without any form of condemnation in their conscience? What were they thinking? What have they become to carry out such acts of such cruelty? Those are the kind of questions I kept asking, and I could not arrive at an answer, Mr. Liu. Till this very moment, I'm unable to understand or decipher the mystery surrounding the death of those people. And then to even think of the fact that they are the weaker vessels. Most of them are women being killed. What was their crime? As a matter of fact, what crime did they commit that warranted most of them their lives? And even if they killed an individual, is it possible that the lives of 35 people, 24 persons could equate for the life of one person that died? And what is the reward? And how does that help you achieve what you are fighting for? These are the questions we've been asking every day. And how beneficial, because this is not the first attempt, this is not the second attempt. People have been killed like this in the past, and it did not give us what we are looking for. We did not achieve what we are looking for. How come we are still carrying out the same acts every day, knowing fully whether it will amount to nothing? The question we are asking is the Anglophone crisis forgotten? Have you forgotten about it? Mr. Liu, as the days go by, things are mellowing down. People are losing interest. As a matter of fact, when children were killed in Kumba, it was all over. Social media, television stations, newspapers carried the headlines. But I'm telling you, since this massacre took place in Mamfe, till date, that tension in the atmosphere that we used to feel like in the days of Gabu, talked about everywhere. It's like everybody has given up and they say damn, they give a damn to whatever is happening. That pressure is not there. It's like when COVID-19 was in existence, everywhere was shaking. When the Ukraine-Russia crisis came up, we didn't hear of COVID-19 again. Now the Hamas-Israel is up, we are not hearing of Ukraine crisis anymore. So the Anglophone crisis is gradually fizzling away out of existence because people are no longer interested, because almost every solution put in place has not produced any result. People have now resolved to faith that whatever comes out of it, let it come out. So it's not like forgotten by international community. The people themselves have forgotten about it. Okay. And it gets critical when the people themselves begin to forget about what is eating them.
Prof. Mark, your first reaction to what actually happened in Mamfe?
Mr. Liu, you know, Mamfe was a climax for an issue that started in Babanke. or remind you that these same guys came into Bobanki, picked out people, they kidnapped persons in their houses, burned down some houses, took them to the bushes. Then the next 2 days after they came, caught 2 young men who went to buy cows to come and actually sell in the village, killed them, then came and abandoned them in the village. I think tomorrow will be the funeral of one of them. When that happened, we were like, wow. Are these not the same people who said they were actually protecting the community? How comes that now they are killing the same people they were supposed to be protecting? And it was not enough. 2 days after, a shocking news. Before we got up in the morning, we heard news everywhere that people were being shot, close to 30, both of them in Mamfe. There was no way to be happy. There was no way to take it in. There was no way to even accept that that was a reality. Until when some images came in. That broke my spirit, and there was no way of actually talking. But I think it is time, I will say this and I will say it on media, for the Cameroon government to not only think of sending soldiers to go seek for them. I think drones need to be sent out at a moment like this to locate where these persons are, and they be all bombed to death. Because getting into a village, killing people, raping some, and it doesn't end there, Mr. Leo. It's not just about killing. They raped, and then killed, then at the end of the day, burnt and looted. They took money from people. Family members that were not killed, they collected money from them. That is too much. And those are the same people these criminals claim they went out to protect. These are the same people that they claim that they went out to the bushes to stand for. The emotions might be too high, but I want you to understand that these so-called individuals that call themselves Ambazonians, call themselves whatsoever you call yourself, you are criminals. There was a particular period of time that people could protect some of you, but you went off the pitch. There was a period of time that a lot of persons thought you were working for their good, and they were willing to preserve and protect you. But I want to say this: your strategy has gone off, and you deserve not only to live in a prison, but to be killed. Because I want to say this, I want to remind some of you, I'm not in for violence, but I want to say this. If you remember very well the very culture in which we come from, when somebody chooses to take the life of another, your life deserves to be taken as well. I am not supposed to be saying this. The mercy of God might locate you if you choose to give in to the plea of the President of the Republic. But listen to me, most of you have gone beyond the borders and you don't deserve mercy.
Okay, your first reaction when you first got the information, I'm sure you've also made calls back in Mamfe. Any of your relatives touched or friends?
I got this news very early because a young colleague who is actually working with me lost 2 family members. So It actually, I will tell you that this young man, for the whole day in school, we struggled to even lock the school gate so that he could not go out because he was so disturbed. At one point, he even shot his phone, and because calls kept coming in. Just imagine that one of the kid brothers who had left, whether they call it Bachontai or where like that, and just arrived that day, just came and met his doom. It's very sad. It's very sad. When I struggle, because you know these criminals, their modus operandi is in such a way that after perpetrating any act, they try to doctor stories and bring them out. But then I want to believe that from what I got from the source there, these people ought to have been protected. And I want to think that the vigilance of the Cameroon government should be doubled at this time. If a brigade post used to have just 30 elements, they should go up to what they should be triple, because it is now crystal clear that liberators have become predators. As I'm talking here, as a matter of fact, my family have paid a price, and today I'm feeding people in Douala, adults who were supposed to be back in their villages eating from their farms, and today they are displeased. I am carrying the weight, like you are carrying the weight. All of us here, that's Apostle Media, this Prof. Market. From what I have seen, all the four of us on this platform, there is nobody here who has not been running around from left to right looking for food to feed displaced people, adults who have their farms back home. It is true that there was an Anglophone crisis, but I don't want to talk about Anglophone crisis today. I want to talk about the atrocities caused by the very people who said they were protecting Anglophones. If there was another adjective that qualifies the nature of these people, which is more than the word the beast that Dr. Apostle Amba said a while ago, I would have used it, because I don't see a reason why you kill your own people who are the soft target. If you said you learned that Senator Tabe Tano was in town for the celebration of the CPDM, you would have gone for him. He has the military, there are Jews in this area, there's the governor in this region. You leave the governor, you go for people, our poor mothers, many of whom have not even been to school. They don't even understand the gymnastics of what is happening in the country. They are just quietly staying there. And one of the things I've discovered, Mr. Leo, is that these boys, there is no iota of conscience left in them anymore. If not, these people who have remained in the villages is simply for the fact that they don't have anywhere to go. If you come to the village again, you are forcing them to leave by killing all of them. It tells you that what started up as a genuine fight today has been turned into a criminal issue. These are thieves, bandits of the highest order that have developed in the Anglophone community.
Okay, let us take a...
I want to think that at this particular point in time, those in diaspora who are championing this cause, there is a need for them to answer squarely.
How can military kill generals and generals kill innocent civilians? It doesn't tie. It doesn't make sense. If at all the generals are actually generals, they should confront the generals that kill their generals. I don't see how an innocent, armless civilian will be confronted by people who are fully armed. I think even in the Geneva Convention, you who's armed, you are not supposed to confront armless individuals. What we are facing right now with Hamas and Israel is that people are agitating because innocent civilians in Gaza are dying. But they were not the ones who stirred up the fire that came up. It was Hamas terrorist group that started bombing Israel. And then now Israel is now throwing missiles and rockets launchers. They are killing people now in Gaza. The whole world is agitating because they say Israel is killing innocent civilians. So if people pick gun and confront people who carry gun, if the ones who carry gun are being killed, why then do you confront somebody who is armless? Because that tells me you do not know your target. Number two, you don't know your enemy. Confront your enemy. And thirdly, you know you are not strong enough to confront the person that killed your general. Because civilians don't kill generals. Armless women don't kill generals. 16-year-old girl who is even pregnant that you raped before you kill doesn't kill generals. The people that kill generals are the military forces. The military forces are right there in Mamfe. The gendarmes are there, the police are there, the armed forces are there. Why don't you get your guns to confront him that carries gun? First of all, according to international law, you are against the international constitution where you take gun to confront somebody who does not have gun. For you to have confronted civilians with gun when you know very well that they are armless, definitely you are a criminal by international law. True. So I think if you were to face another man that carries a gun, they will say you are doing self-protection, because you must understand the nuance between confronting somebody who has no gun and confronting somebody who has a gun. When somebody has a gun, you have a gun, it is called self-protection or self-defense. Let me put the right word. Self-defense. But for you to carry gun and go and confront innocent women, women who are armless, women who are having no defense, no mechanism in place, you shoot them down. After shooting them down, or rape some of them, shoot them down, then kill them and burn them. That tells you that you actually, first and foremost, do not even know who you are fighting. Secondly, you have proven to the world that you are not strong enough to confront a person who is killing you. And thirdly, that is a public display of defeat. We as Cameroonians, and especially those of us from southern Cameroon, we will not take this thing that we in the name of protecting the people you were protecting, you have not turned to be killing the same people, and this thing keeps repeating itself over and over and over and over and over. We have decried these things over and over. We've called upon you over and over. We have brought your attention over and over. Go and confront military forces. If we hear tomorrow that your general was killed and a military man was killed in return, then it is get head for head, tooth for tooth. But now you are like trying to confront civilians who are very harmless. Now, for your information, anybody you see still in any Anglophone region in the north and the southwest are the most desperate Anglophones. I repeat, the most desperate Anglophones who do not have anywhere to run to. Those who have their means have moved to other towns that have security. Some have moved to other nations that have security. The ones you still stay in there, despite all the crossfire that took place from 2017, 2018, houses were being burned, people were being raped. You get up in the morning, you see corpses littered everywhere. If you see somebody still in any of those villages right now, is a person who is like in between the devil and the deep blue sea. They have nowhere to run to. So for you again to be massacring these people to this extent, you are telling the rest of the people to disappear into thin air because they neither have anywhere to go. Even the village that they talk, let us stay here and die. They choose to stay there, and they are there. This is bad.
Let us get reactions from two women who were victims of that attack through the voice of our Southwest-based correspondent, Moki Regai.
As I hear that way them, I woke up near the camp. I don't come stand for you. The boys can't come out stand so. Then I want to see. Wait them. I don't stand like say I know to hear them. I need to hear what you ready to. Then I want to see move on. As I stand for you, I need fear no man, I fear my God. As I stand for you, I say plan to 8 gun. Now gun this. No be saying I hear say now gun this for my corner. Then I see shoot and see. He move the cartridge. He flash the touch, move the cartridge through and down. He start the walk, he the flash touch the go. Flash touch the go. I the follow for back. I say man, see what you want to go do for. He come, I the follow for back. He enter, me and enter. As I enter and I saw stand. He stand for you. Na suppose we know. She don't quite part today. She don't cover. If I know the sick place, she don't use soap put the face for them. I woke up. I stand so. Na suppose we know. Stand away. We say her phone. But she don't quiet. Give me your phone. She don't quiet. Then I want to see the flash touch, the big phone for pillow. I get quiet. He tell me, give me your password. I said, I not lock my phone. Carry the phone, go. Come out. So the phone, I see come out, the phone, I joke. I want to see come out, I said, come back for us. I said, Papa, that's what happened. That's what you hear that song for God, inside corner where I do for TV, and they will shoot it gone.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Papa.
So how did she?
As I woke up from morning time, that time where they shoot around 2:42, I hear the sound. I woke up, she don't know my Bible there. I just study, meditate. I say, Papa God, cover this house with the blood of Jesus. Papa God, no gree anything happen for this house with picking the files. Papa God, let me say as I talk so. The actress attack my boy with the work for Caritas. He claim on touch with him. Another one follow is to point touch for see what I go see, succeed. Calm down now. Come meet on my girlfriend for middle door. Come. It is stressful. But it one now. It one rapey. The girl they no give chance. You know, give chance. I say blum. I say the blum. Now you see corner so now so you go hospital, he come for just here. He come for here. The guy go the pin go hospital yesterday. Got prescribed medicine. I want to take and so. Then they come down now for me. Well, what did you happen for? And they didn't know. I didn't say only for meditate for my God. Then you can't enter now. Do the way I tell you so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Papa.
So which do you take my own government for the palaver?
My own words talk now say. All this time from that 240 something when me that boy they can't start military they here gone. Military they surround Mamfe. They begin they don't enter Mamfe. As they hear that sound, if they be even alert themselves say men will surround these boys. These boys they know for succeed come out go out empty where they know hit even one boy for say them to the day or for protect we. But they allow the boys they don't come out all they go. Then they can't carry the cops the way they don't burn kill her, put on motor go mortuary. After they don't do that act, she don't military. The military the day have to do it. And for protect we know, we need to support those boys. You see military man, he salute you, but those boys, man, we greet, I need to salute me them. I need to see me them take them like anything. Now them that one Kiwi, military the day time, military the day Mamfe, military the day Beko, military the day Mamfe, small Mamfe. God to the worry me. So military they all over.
Thank you, Mommy.
We did inside house with my master, with my feet and people they can't be seen with. As they stand now, they can't be seen with, they sleep. We did inside house with my four in them. As that one son can't be with the dog, kill my master, kill my other uncle. And then my king they succeed, they run, come up, even me too, I succeed, the other my uncle, they succeed, they kill me. They my dream as I hold nothing but what they do, that caught me from the room, I have my own.
You talk about money?
They take money from me, they take 200,000.
So what if you take my own government for this palaver?
One third from the own government for this, once you say me, make a mission, if you not finish all of that, because we don't know how to do it. We don't know whether the finish or it's increased. Then, they want to make a mission, they finish that.
Okay, thank you. What is your name? Obi Pascali.
Reactions are from some victims of the attack in Mamfe that occurred 2 days ago. Very, very difficult. But to say that today the population of Mamfe came out on the instructions of a man of God, a prophet, who asked them that God has asked them to move to a particular position and to make that move 7 times, and requested that they carry ground. And spontaneously, the people came out. Let's take a look at what happened in Mamfe today. The elements may not see is not ready, but Apostle Amba Valentine Gua, were you sure? Okay? Okay. The people really came out en masse and followed exactly what the prophet wanted them to do and said what they want is peace because they are tired of this. Okay? That was Mamfe today. A population moving there with ground taken from the soil, that is called soil, and they prayed today and they were following what the man of God said. He gave that instruction yesterday and said that they must do it today, and instantly the population came out in search of a solution. Do we see a people who themselves do not know who to trust and are looking for their solution any way possible?
Mr. Leo, what I can interpret from that particular video is a state of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
A people looking for a solution by all costs. Anglophones or people from the northwest and southwest are fed up. They are desperately in need of a solution to the killings, the continuous killings of their people. You cannot imagine that you are with somebody today before you imagine the next day he's dead or she's dead because somebody got angry with claims that a general or whatsoever, I don't know who made them generals, has been killed. I don't know if you were involved in the appointment of these individuals to be generals, but as it happens, that is proof of desperation, Mr. Liu. So, they are looking for the opportunity that says, okay, if you say this is what can solve this problem, then we are going to do it. So if a man of God said, you people should pick ground, make a move, they all went out to do it because they think that the government, which they were looking up to as a solution to their problem, is failing them. Let's be sincere. The government of Cameroon has gone quiet. Just listen to what that mother said. The military was sent in that Mamfe not to sleep, but to protect them. But it all happened that they heard sounds of guns, like the people of Babanki said the other day, that guns were being shot all over, but nobody reacted. And the military is in the palace, in the village. The funny thing is that the fawn was in the village, and those boys went into the palace to kill the fawn. When the fawn is the one who wrote and asked that the military should be brought to the village. They went into the palace and they could not find him, and they destroyed his car. They kidnapped individuals. When they came to Mamfe, they did not spare anybody. But the military was not far. Why did that happen? I'm not in any way blaming the military. They might not have been equipped enough. But what I'm saying is this. If the military was sent there, you have sent there, you choose the military because you are willing to die for the nation in order to protect the citizens. So, even though I said I don't want to blame you, but this is a direct blame. Because you should be willing to die to protect the people. How comes that these people were being killed.
For us.
And none of you reacted when it is shameful. But this does not stop me from telling those criminals, I'll call them criminals till tomorrow, when are killing their own people. You cannot kill the people that you claim. You went to the streets. You went out, pick guns to protect. You are criminals and you don't need any salvation. It is shocking. God is so merciful. He can save you. And I also want to believe that the president had given you a way out. The DDR is a way out for some of you. But if you choose not to, we are invoking the Spirit of God. In fact, we are invoking the ancestors of our land to speak against you, to destroy you people, for choosing to destroy the children they left behind. You are wicked. Some of you, so stupid as you are, you go on social media and you are telling me that my days are short. You are stupid.
Okay.
God have mercy on you people. But I want to say that your wickedness is not going to stay long.
Okay.
The fact that you choose to kill a people. I am too emotional at this moment. I won't control my emotions. But what you have done cannot be forgiven easily.
In the beginning of the crisis, there was a strong agitation for secession. Then from there, it dwindled down to federalism. Then from there, it went down to confederation. Then finally, it came down to decentralization. Now, the people are not even looking for any system of government anymore. They don't want secession. They don't want federation. They don't want confederation. They don't want decentralization. What they are looking for right now is not a system of government or a form of the state. They are looking for peace. So if you ask them to drink urine now, I'm a figure and a voice in this nation. If I were the one that came on air and said, hey, people of Beko, from today henceforth, you're going to stay for 7 days fasting, they will take it without any pinch of salt. They will take it exactly because they have come to in what we call in the driving school a dead end. A dead end is where you drive in the driving school, you come, there is no road going forward, there's no road coming backward. So that's a dead end. So the Anglophones have come to a dead end, and this dead end is a place where anything they offer you at that level, you consume it. It's when somebody has been sick for too long, they say urine is a last recipe or the last solution to your problem, you will drink urine. So if you tell Anglophones right now, any part of the nation of Cameroon in the Anglophone region, whether northwest or southwest, so I come on the top and I say, hey, Anglophones in Babanki, for you to get out of the crisis right now, you are going to declare 3 days fasting, and we're going to see this will turn up in the village, it will turn out. That is because the people have come to a position whereby anything you offer as a solution to them, they will accept it. If you ask any sincere Anglophone right now that what system of government or what form of state are you agitating for, they will tell that brother, leave that form of state. What we need now is peace. I want to go back to my village. I want to plant huckleberry again. I want to plant pumpkin again. I want to roast corn close to my fireside. I want to eat again hunted beef from the bush. I want to sit back and go to my farm and do activities as I used to do. I don't have peace anymore where I am. Let me go back, please. The Cameroon now, with the Cameroon before the crisis, which one do you choose? I will choose the Cameroon before the crisis. Because why? They have tested and they are able to compare what they had and what they have now. So this is something that has come to educate us and to teach us to understand that if you don't appreciate what you have in your hand, wait until you lose it. When you lose what you have in your hand, you will learn to appreciate it when next you find it. I think every Anglophone from the north and the southwest now should be able to understand that what they thought was worst wasn't the worst. We have now finally entered into the worst. Because this is exactly where we are right now, very desperate, very frustrated. It is not just here in Cameroon. People call me all over the world. All over the world. People come because they know I have been on this issue since 2016 speaking on it. I must tell you, and I said that, I say any political scientist or analyst who maintains his defense on one particular point, it means the person is not flexible. I have been following this crisis from the very beginning, and I've been giving analysis based on what is happening. I can tell the Anglophones right now that they are at a dead end, and they are at a position whereby it's only them that have the final solution to this crisis. And the solution is that the same way they obey the voice of the prophet to march into the street, they should equally collaborate with all elements put in place to make sure that these activities are going to be brought down. Lastly, Mr. Leo, you realize that the government had so much at hand to handle in 2016, 2017. There were crises in Lebi Alem, in Saw, in Bamenda, in Buya, in Muya, everywhere. You realize that from my 16 to my 17 to Buya and part of Muya and Kumba, those places have now calmed down. Why does the government not take the energy it has, concentrate in the areas that are too hot right now, to crack down the rest of the activities? Because it is rather a war strategy should be engaged right now by the state to make sure that they concentrate the energy they have right now in the places that are still too very hot. Because you can't tell me that there's any crisis anymore in Buya. Everywhere is calm in Buya. You cannot tell me there's crisis anymore in some places in Bamenda. Places are cold, very like Bamenda and places. Why now you realize guns are still smoking in Mamfe, some still smoking in this place? Why don't you concentrate the energy to say you can bring them to it? Is there some manipulation taking place in the name of this crisis that we are yet to decipher?
Let me take some 3 or 4 messages. Good evening, Mr. Liu. The topic of your program today is very interesting. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and everyone there. The studio for close to 7 good years now, the government of Cameroon and its military intelligence, together with the use of drones, want to tell us that they don't know the hideouts of these boys. If the military decides to take, say, maximum 5 months to fish out the boys, they can do so. But so sorry to say that the Anglophone crisis has instead become a money-making something for both parties, and it's the reason for the delay to end the crisis. This one says we need to join with whoever have the visions that this evil we created should stop. We have to join them no matter who. Please, this should be our level of desperation. So thanks. Hello, good evening to you all in the studio. Apostle Ambe, you are a genius. These boys are so disgusting, and I think there is need for the government to do something very fast before the hand of a monkey turns to a human hand in the pot of soup. Emmanuel, writing from Guso.
2016 was maybe the introduction. In 2017, the population was, whoa, this thing is okay, we are for it. Everybody was supporting the fact that, I think Siseko used the statement, the restoration of the state. So he said the state of Southern Cameroon needs to be restored. And I remember on October 1st, 2017, that declaration was made, and a lot of people were willing to die for it. I was living in a corner. That's where my house is. And I saw how people were happy. People went to the streets even though the military was out. They even marched to Boya. And that day people were willing to die for this issue. And the days progressed. A lot of persons thought the thing was about to end. In fact, they didn't give even up to a year, because they thought maybe the thing will end in months and maybe they will get their state restored. But it continued. I finally left a corner myself in 2018 when it had gotten too hot, when bullets had entered my house. And I had to run away. And people were dying anyhow. If you ask me the question, where are we today? We are not where we started. I want to come back to tell Southern Cameroonians, all those of English expression of the Northwest and Southwest, what we created has now started eating us. It has become, in fact, the same snake, baby snake we were feeding, has become an anaconda and is now consuming us. It is seriously consuming us. It is unfortunate that we are seeing what is happening right now. If you told the people in 2016, 2017 that we were supposed to be here right now, they would have refused. Because they were the same people that were protecting these criminals today. Hiding them, refusing to even tell the military where they were. But unfortunately, these boys, wheresoever they went and entered in their occultic groups, the blood that they asked them to be spilling, they have not been spilling the blood. So they have decided to turn against their own people, to spill the blood of their people, to satisfy the evil where they went and entered. So, Mr. Lee, if you ask me again, where we are right now, we are already down in the grave. And being placed in the grave by the same people whom we actually anointed to protect us. That's what we said when they rose up. That's what they told us, that they came to protect our people.
They should keep dreaming.
But how can they be protecting our people by killing them? I don't know if Cameroonians are listening to me. I don't know if any person from the northwest or southwest is listening to me. How can you get into a village? You kill people, children of 13 years. What did they do wrong to you? We have seen children killed of even 1 month before. And we had concluded that, wow, this was a work of the military. I'm still hearing some people say that we should, no, this is they are using those, these guys, demonic words. No, it might be the military that did it, and now we are struggling to put it on the boys. They are claiming to make us believe what we know already. This was not the work of the military. Every one of us knows this. This was the work of the same people that our mothers protected days back. I'll still come back to Bobanki. Months passed. The same mothers that protected their children from being killed by the military, these same children turned against them when they started asking the people of the village to pay taxes to them. And the exorbitant amount of money that they asked provoked the mothers to go out. And the mothers that went out are not mothers that they're not women below 45. It was the Fumbwin, as they call it. Fumbwin are women. It is a cult in the Bobanki culture, women cult, which speaks out against evil. These women went out, and these same criminals, in the eyes of the public, caught them, gathered them up, got some of them well beaten and wounded. How can you beat your grandmother if you are not a cursed person? And when they did all those things, you still want me today to believe that no, it is the military that did that, and then came and branded those boys to be the ones who did it. Then there's a problem with their thinking. It is evident. The killing in Mamfe, the killing in Bobanki, we know the people who did it. It's the same people who call themselves Amba. So if you didn't want me to say it, I'm going to say it. They are the ones who did it. And listen to me. The state in which we are right now is not where we're supposed to be. Some of you were asking for the international community to come in. You have created more crimes than the international community can ever intervene. You are criminals of war criminals, and need to be punished for all your evils.
Now,
this question I am asking tonight goes to the war entrepreneurs who call themselves Amba boys. If the government of Cameroon has failed, should we all take guns and kill ourselves because the government has failed? And if should we kill all ourselves and die, who then lives to change or work for the better Cameroon of tomorrow that you people are all claiming that you are fighting for. It is true that an irresponsible government can produce a lot of criminals who can go to extremes. But then, are we going to sit and kill ourselves every day simply because the government has failed? And I have often said, and I repeat, if the military of Cameroon for 41 years was behaving like Amba boys are behaving, then we did not need a fight to separate Cameroon. Cameroon would have separated automatically, because what these boys have shown us within a very short period of time is almost worse than what we have obtained from the military. As a matter of fact, I have said, if the military is chasing me, or if I'm running and I see a military control post and I see an Amba control post, let me say it clear, I will run to the military and be beaten by the military. At least I know where I can take the military to for judgment. Where can I take the Amba boys to? People who have a court of now judgment, that is to say, they judge you on the spot, they pass their verdict, and it is gone. So, when you are asking whether the civil society is tired, everybody is tired, including the media houses.
Which direction is the Anglophone crisis moving towards now?
Mr. Leo, I gave this crisis an adjective many years ago. I described it as an octopus crisis that has several heads, and you can practically don't know the direction where it is going. You can't tell where the Anglophone crisis is going since from 2018, 2019, when different activists from the same movement fighting for the same cause are insulting one another. They lost focus towards the enemy in question and began facing each other. When Eric Tato comes on air, he insults with Sako. Sako comes on air, insults Benida Kwanga. Benida comes on air, insults Betapang Avotanku. When Tapang Avotanku comes on, insults Ayabacho. And I was asking, is this a misplacement of priority, a loss of vision, or they don't know where they are heading to? Because to me, the only opposition party in Cameroon is the CPDM party. If other political parties leave their primary objective of confronting the ruling party and start fighting against each other, it's a loss of priority and a misplacement of focus. For instance, if the SDF and the MRC sit on the TV platform and begin to insult each other and then they don't know who they are fighting, all those political parties are to sit on a platform and have one particular opponent that they want to crush down. And their energy should be driven and focused towards the political party they want to bring down, which will be the ruling party. Now, the Anglophone crisis lost its team, lost its focus, lost its attention the moment the people who happen to have been the spearheaders and the leaders of the crisis began fighting against each other. And because of that, you realize that the government gained ground when they began fighting against themselves. Why? Because their energy was dispersed. One. Number two, they had no vision. Number three, the little energy they had, they began using to fight each other. You will hear that Abacho's own forces have killed the forces of these persons. This one also has killed the forces of these. That confusion and misunderstanding among themselves was what drove this crisis to a place of no direction. So, as it stands now, when you ask me where is it heading to, nobody is heading the Anglophone crisis anymore because everybody is totally confused.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I don't know whether. Now, is there also a confusion between the Anglophone crisis and the Ambazonian leaders? Are they actually carrying the aspirations of the people of the Anglophone crisis?
No. No. People, we have said it over and over. Individuals came and hijacked the Anglophone crisis. I can tell the Anglophone crisis is a genuine cause. That even some members of the CPDM party are acknowledging the fact there's an Anglophone problem in Cameroon. But the fact that people came and hijacked it and introduced the Ambazonia syndrome is what has affected the Anglophone crisis and caused it to even disappear out of the scene, while the Ambazonia focus is becoming the primordial challenge we have in English-speaking Cameroon. And because of that, the people who actually came with a genuine cause of the Anglophone crisis, they have backed out and they are watching the individuals who have stolen the show, and they are trying to carry it out now in their own way. Now, to even carry out the activities, now they cannot carry it out. They are now fighting against themselves, fighting against each other. We don't even know which of the movement today is the one that is leading, because the persons who were born in 2016, 2017, 2018, they have suddenly gone solo. They have gone mute. We are not hearing them anymore. All we hear now is acts of kidnap, acts of ransom, acts of destruction, killing individuals and killing the civilians. I cannot remember the last time we used to have images of military people being killed. I cannot remember the last time a military man was killed. The time we used to have police people beheaded and their heads hung in the street of Bamenda, I have not heard police people being killed anymore. The times we used to hear that guns were smoking here and there, sometimes you will stay for 2-3 months and begin to ask yourself if you are still in the Anglophone crisis. The thing is gradually disappearing the same way COVID-19 disappeared when the crisis in Ukraine came. So I think it's that certain that most Anglophones who are in the English part of speaking of the country are not even becoming conscious of a crisis again. I think these activities is to awake the conscience that we are being in a crisis. So you guys are already asleep because people are already dormant about the crisis. Newspaper don't carry it anymore. As a matter of fact, even my media prime that is very, very, very committed in seeing how we can provide solutions to this crisis that comes up from time to time to stir up to us to understand the things happening. The thing would have just like, okay, probably people are sitting in their bedrooms and then they are waiting for the next thing that will happen and then they just swallow it and then stay then quiet. How do you expect that? A few children were killed in Gabu, it became news over the nation, the international community. Children were killed in school in Kumba, it became news in the entire community. Today, people are killed in the tune of 30-something in Mamfe, and then it fizzles away like that, like nothing is happening. It's not even a matter. It's not even a situation, it's not even a pressure. People are just there. I mean, we have seen corpses, we've buried our loved ones, we've seen houses, properties being burned, we've seen billionaires gone out of business, we've seen people use the crisis to settle scores, we've seen kidnapping. There is no evil we have not seen. Let them introduce to us the next evil that we have not seen, because if it is these things they are doing, we have seen enough of them. So people are becoming very familiar. In those days, life was sacred. When you kill somebody, hey, noise was everywhere. This time around, you kill somebody, individuals walk on the corpse and they are going to their farms because dead bodies don't matter anymore again to people. So there is nothing you are going to do that will be surprising. Look at a woman of that age. She says she's not afraid of anything. Man, just interview. It means she has come to a place where internally she is dead. She is saying that thing people are doing is not strange. All of us will die one day. So if it is dead, take me and let me go, let this thing stop. Is it better than those who died in front of me? Is it better than the pregnant 16-year-old girl who was raped in the course of their atrocities? This mayhem that was carried out recently. These are some of the things that has affected the psychology of people, and it has affected their reasoning. The fear of death is no longer a subject. So that confidence is no longer there. It's no longer there.
Okay, it's no longer there. But how do we explain? Because it was reported, I'm sure two years ago, that this was one of the most neglected crises in the world, and 2 years down the line, seemingly the more it is being forgotten.
Mr. Leo,
is it the lack in strategy to attract to catch the attention of the population across the globe?
Mr. Leo, I think from every indication, those who actually needed the favor of the international community did a lot of blunders. Let's begin with those who were doing the sponsoring from abroad, the diaspora. You saw them fighting one against another. That particular confrontation among them went down to those who were on the field, where you could hear, this is they call different names. This is these are the forces of this, and these are the forces of this. And they were fighting one another and killing one another. If you want to look very well, most of the so-called generals that were killed were not killed by the military. They were killed by the Ambas themselves. That's how it was. It went down. Because they stood against themselves, fighting against themselves, killing themselves. And that was not enough. They turned against the same people they said they were protecting and started killing. How do you expect the international community to see it as a crisis? It is no more, in quotes, an Anglophone crisis. It is, I should have called it an, how should I say, intertribal crisis. Because it is not the government of Cameroon fighting against or might be struggling to smash down on the so-called Amba. It is the Amba killing the people that they are supposed to be standing for or fighting for. That already tells you there is no strategy. But this is also to indicate to us that from the very beginning there was no strategy. And once there is no strategy, there is confusion that comes in.
Yeah, but we have persons who keep writing on TikTok, on social media platforms, calling on the international community, and we have to fight till the end. For how long would the people need to wait?
Mr. Leo, these people know what they are benefiting from what they are doing. Because let's be sincere, there is nothing the international community can come in to say against a people who have turned to be killing their own people. If that is a means to attract the international community, then there is a problem. Those people writing and saying whatever they are saying is because they do not understand what it means for the international community to intervene in an issue. Yes, it is true that in the past this was a neglected issue because the Cameroon government, which we all blame for forsaking it, the crisis, actually did their best to pull the attention of the international community from the crisis. But the persons who were supposed to attract the attention of the international community went out themselves to commit more errors to tell the international community this was no more a situation we should spend our time looking at. Because you can't say you are fighting to protect a people, then you are the first person to open arms against them, to pick up arms against them. If you shoot somebody, you kill somebody because this person spoke against you, call the person a black leg, you are so stupid. It means you do not even understand whatsoever is called democracy or the right to free expression. People have the right to speak. It is in the midst of contrary opinions that you show how strong you are. When somebody is able to speak against you and you say, well, I am fighting for your good, but I'm going to protect you still. If you can't say that, it means you are lost. A lot of them, Mr. Leo, are gaining from behind this particular issue. I will tell you this without mixing words. The people that are actually making a lot of profits from this situation, from the both sides, from the government and from among the so-called Amba, they are making a lot of money.
Okay.
If you go to Nsok land, just a couple of months, a year back, I went to bury my father in Babanki, and I saw something that till tomorrow I keep asking questions. I went to bury my father. I bypassed a military checkpoint, not up to a kilometer away from the military checkpoint. I met an Amba checkpoint. And before I arrived there, the military told us they are in front of you people. I asked them a question. How can you tell us they're in front of us and you are not going to confront them? One of them laughed.
Okay.
That should make you understand there's an issue that I don't yet understand. Are they working in collaboration? That's a question that we need to answer. But I am perplexed that the same people who say they were to protect the people are the same one killing the same people. That is what, even to tomorrow, I'll keep saying. People have lost it.
Okay.
And there's no international community that is going to come to protect you. You go in for what you have cost.
If things remain the same, our future is bleak. Some of us have abandoned our plots in Northwest and Southwest. The plans that we put the Amba takes by force and sell, and we are fugitives east of the Mungo. Which means if things stand the way they are today, then we are finished. We have no future. Or our future in the hands of the people we claimed, or some people claimed, that we did not like. Let me use the language of one senator in this country. You see, and again, it is on this very TV platform that one of your journalists interviewed the former Undersecretary of State for Africa, U.S. Undersecretary of State for Africa, Chibonagi. And he made it so clear that until those who claim that they are leading or taking the cause of the Amazonian people in court, or the Anglophone Cameroonians, shall speak with one voice, there is no international community coming in anytime soon. I am paraphrasing the words of His Excellency Thibault Nagy. Which means that those who are supposed to market our problem to the international community marketed it wrongly. And so, until they shall speak with one voice, nobody anywhere out of Cameroon is stepping in to solve the problem. This comes back to what I was saying. The solution to our problem is in our palms. If those in Northwest and Southwest consider and assume that the government of Cameroon is not existing and take things their own way, there will be a way out. Because there are two people that if we keep waiting for them, this generation might finally be wiped off completely from the face of the earth. If we are waiting for the government in Yaoundé, which is already a failed government, we all know. And as far as Anglophone crisis is concerned, this present regime cannot solve it. I say that one and I weigh my words. And if we are waiting for the international community, Mr. Leo, we are finished.
You say Dium thinks that they cannot solve it, or you are categorical that
I am very categorical, and I assume it, because they have had enough time to solve this problem. Only on this platform, following only Prime Act for 1 week, gave this government every ingredient that could be used to solve this problem. I stand to be corrected. There are people who have poured out knowledge here on crisis resolution and all whatnot, but I want to think our government has not been listening. Yeah. But we have done enough.
Yeah, but the government will tell you they are solving it their way.
If they were solving it, then what just happened in Mamfe would not have happened. What happened in Babaki would not have happened.
You expected the government to
the government has every means, Mr. Leo, to solve this problem. Prof. Mark started a while ago by saying that if we consider that we are in a full-blown war, they should send drones to locate these fellows, these thieves, these criminals, these bandits. Except the government of Cameroon is using a silent language to tell us that they are defeated, which I cannot accept.
Okay, Apostle Ambi Valentine, when you look at where the population, on the other hand, we say we must fight till the last man standing. Where do we gather the energy to fight till the last man standing, and where do we put the common man in all of this?
Mr. Leo, when we talk about fighting to the last man standing, who is the last man? Because there are many people who are not even willing to fight.
Those who are saying these things are not fighters.
You should be able to understand when they say they are fighting to the last man standing. Not everybody is willing to fight. So the last man is going to be who? Because there are many people who are not willing to fight. They don't want to fight them anymore. They want back the Cameroon they used to have. the Wonder Bamenda they used to have, the Mamfe and the other places they used to have at first now. Give them back that Mamfe, they'll be comfortable. So you say you fight to the last man standing. Number 2, war is costly. War demands 1, human resource. 2, ammunitions. 3, finances. 4, feeding. 5, expertise. 6, manpower. So, where are all these resources I'm mentioning within these people we are talking about who want to fight war? Because we have seen crises that have lasted for 30 years in the case of South Sudan. They were able to stand for almost about 30 years. We are into 7 years in the Anglophone crisis. And what we have done against our own people is worse than what we have done against the military that we seem to be fighting. The Rwandans, Kagame, they stood against the government of Juvenal Habyarimana because they were the minority. They fought as rebels for years before they kicked out. They finally conducted the coup d'etat that eliminated the president. The case of Yoweri Museveni, whom Kagame was part of his army, that helped to kick out meeting Apollo Obote. They fought for years. They had resistance and support. We are fighting for 7 years and we are out of business. The Tamil Tigers fought in Sri Lanka for 26 years, from 1983 to 2009. They finally surrendered. We are into 7 years. I'm 7 years into war. Now we are not eating the same people we said we were to defend. We now kill them. We now take ransom from them. We now kidnap them. How far are we willing to go? Number 1. Number 2, how much human resource do we have, or financial resource put in place to stand this war for this period of time? Because war is demanding, war is costly. Human lives have been taken to the extent that all the popular generals we had, they have been cleared of the scene. Now the ones we have, we don't even know their names. Why? Where is the human resource or the military equipment put in place to fight this war for long? So fighting to the last man standing should be put into consideration, all these factors on ground, if at all we are even into a fight first. And then if at all we are ready to fight this fight till the last man standing. Now, who is that last man that will be standing? Because most of the people they thought will stand, they run away. So let us put all these factors on ground, all these emotional, sentimental, and all these kind of feelings that we express over social media, thinking that I'm a political scientist. I put my facts on ground, I do analysis, I do fact checks before I come to speak on air. We do not have the human, financial, material, ammunitions put together to stand this war for the next 5, 6, 7 years.
But there was this Goliath and is it David Goliath
scenario?
It is
Goliath.
It is you people who say this is God ordained.
Mr. Lu, I never. What you said, you people, that statement is too direct.
I did not say Apostle.
I wasn't part of the team that said that you people said it's a God ordained struggle. Besides, Mr. Leo, all those who said it's a God-ordained struggle are the ones who had God for themselves. I think I'm matured and grown up enough to know God and to hear God for myself. Lastly, what I want to point out is this. We should take cue behind the people who, I believe, have once fought wars of this nature. Let us take cue behind them and be able to analyze if at all they were able to succeed. How did they succeed? What came behind them to succeed? What did they put on ground to succeed? These are the things put together. Bougainville and Papua New Guinea had a crisis for many years. This crisis stretched until finally New Zealand came in and broke up peace between the two of them and parted the two countries. These are the things we take you behind. Oh, Sudan got independence. Oh, Bougainville got independence. Have you gone into the nitty-gritty to study the process that was put in place before finally they got their independence? These are the questions you should be putting in front of everyone. Put on the table, reason it, analyze it, critically scrutinize the facts, then know if you are supposed to go there or not. Steve McManaman was the U.S. Secretary of Defense when the Vietnamese fought against the Americans. He looked at the war and told the U.S. president that America has lost this war 1 year before the time. That's analysis. American government insisted to fight that war, and when they fought that war, they got the shock of their life because the Vietnamese made a mess of the American government and the American military. Who thought that Vietnam could conquer America? That was because the American Secretary of Defense, Stick Namara, who was the Secretary of State of Defense by then, was the one that looked at the war analysis. We fight war with our mind, not with guns. That is the way, if you go to the scripture, the Bible says Naaman was a leper, yet he brought Syria out of trouble. Why? A leper does not hold guns. Somebody who has lost the fingers and the toes. But he was the one that used his mind to direct the soldiers. So the fight we are fighting is not a mental fight. That's the reason why we are defeated. We are fighting with bullets. We've given guns to people who don't think, who don't reason, who don't do analysis, who don't judge, who have no cartography of war in front of them. They just get up because they think they can press the trigger and bullet comes out. That's war. A lot of factors are put in place, and let me tell you, Cameroon government is using what we call the delay tactics or the Scotch-Egg policy. That Scotch-Egg policy is what Samora Touré used in those days to conquer the French. He dried up everything green. So when the French were approaching, water, hunger, thirst killed them on the way. What they are doing is not drying the crops in Northwest. They are drying your finances. They prolong the war, your soldiers are dying. They prolong the war, your finances going. They prolong the war, you don't have ammunition anymore. They prolong the war, and then they destabilize even those who used to contribute little farthings. Those who contribute nickels, those who contribute dimes to put into the war, they get weary and frustrated. It is a Scotch-Egg policy. They can drag this war for the next 30 years, and you will not have the financial, material, human resource. Listen to us who have had critical studies. We may not carry gun, but we have used our mind to educate you, but you won't listen to us. Stay there. We are giving you free knowledge. We're educating you for free. What we have paid hundreds of dollars to study in universities, we are not dispensing it here for free. You don't want to take it and learn from us. You call us black leg, blue leg, yellow leg, green leg. That's your cup of tea. I went to school, studied university, and I'm giving you my knowledge on how you manage crisis. You turn to blame me and judge me and condemn me. Thanks be to God, I'm doing it and rendering services to humanity. I've given Cameroon Government Council, I've given you council. If you don't value it, it's left for you. What you don't value in this Cameroon, other countries are already taking and using. Simple.